said about atrial fibrillation. Most common arrhythmia in clinical practice. 33% of arrhythmia hospitalized are due to atrial fibrillation. That increase fivefold increase risk of stroke. You can see less than 5% below 50 years, less than 2 below 70, and 4 to 6, 8% in below 90. Male are more than women, and whites affected more than black. What is atrial fibrillation? Low amplitude baseline oscillation, also known as a fibrillatory or FF, having rate of 300 to 600 with different shape, amplitude, and timing. There is irregular ventricular rate because of chaotic atrial contraction. There is also AF with regular ventricular rhythm. In few cases like AF with complete heart block, patient on pacemaker or patient on verapamil, or severe ventricular tachycardia. Non-cardiac causes: most common hyperthyroidism, diabetes, alcohol, obesity, pulmonary embolism, pneumonia, lung cancer, pheochromocytoma, hypothermia, intracranial femoral or stroke. Cardiac causes are most common: valvular heart disease, hypertensive heart disease, ischemic heart disease, the cardiomyopathy like restrictive cardiomyopathy, dilated cardiomyopathy, hypertensive cardiomyopathy, post-cardiac surgery or congenital heart disease, and cardiopulmonary or cardiac disease like myxoma. These are risk factors for atrial fibrillation. Signs symptoms: most common is palpitation, easy fatigue, exercise intolerance, pain, dizziness, syncope, lightheadedness, dyspnea, and increased urination. Treatment approach is reduce stroke, prevent tachycardia, reduce heart failure, reduce symptoms, treatment of risk factor, and rhythm control versus rate control or both. Acute management less than 48 hours. If patient is hemodynamically unstable, we see synchronized shock gives 95% efficacy. There is monophasic and biphasic shock. Nowadays we use biphasic shock. Biphasic shock have better efficacy than monophasic shock. If patient is and after that pharmacotherapy, we give amiodarone, rubilate, procainamide. There are also oral drugs, dofetilide, flecainide, and tocoferol for acute management for rate control and rhythm control. Advantage of early cardioversion by cardioelectric or pharmacotherapy: rapid relief of symptoms, avoidance of the need of TE. If patient comes less than 48 hours, first we have, if patient comes within 40 hours, we directly give shock. If comes after 48 hours or timing is unclear, we have to go for TE for LA thrombus. The lower risk of early recurrence. However, probability of immediate recurrence with pharmacotherapy is less than electric cardioversion. Immediate recurrence in few seconds, 25% of the patient less than 24 and 10% episode more than 24. Increasing shock in this kind of patient, if we give shock and do not revert to sinus rhythm, we have to give immediate infusion and then we give shock. Give better efficacy or revert to sinus rhythm. Post-cardioversion, atrial stenosis and thromboembolic event are more common. So even patient comes before 48 hours or within 40 hours, we have to give anticoagulant therapy for at least 4 weeks. In patient, hemodynamic stable patient, acute rate control is done by beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, digoxin, and IV drugs like iltiazem and isoniazid. For maintenance therapy, if patient is coronary arteries, dofetilide, dronedarone, and sotalol are advised. Class 1C drugs like procainamide and tofophenone are contraindicated in coronary arteries patients. If patient has heart failure, amiodarone and dofetilide are drug of choice. No structural heart, if patient has no structural heart disease, dronedarone, flecainide, sotalol, and amiodarone like class 3 drugs. Plus anticoagulation. Anticoagulation, if rhythm is achieved within 48 hours without cardioversion, then anticoagulant should be given for 4 weeks of atrial stenosis to prevent the thromboembolic stroke. Acute management: more than 48 hours. If patient is hemodynamically unstable, urgent TE to look for LA. If there is no Alleground we give DC shock and followed by anticoagulation for 4 weeks. If there is no TB available or Alleground is present, we give anticoagulation for 4 weeks followed by cardioversion and followed by 4 weeks of anticoagulation. In hemodynamic stable we are same as less than 40 hours. Long-term strategies are rate control and rhythm control. There are few trials they show there is no survival or mortality benefit between these two strategies. Choosing strategies depends on various factors. This affirm time, race trial, PF trial and STAR trial. This trial shows no difference between these two strategies. Rhythm control should be done or favors if patient come with paroxysmal AF, age less than 75, reversible cause, highly symptomatic even after rate control, non-structural heart disease, not known case of previous failure of anti-arrhythmic drugs, or patient unable to take anticoagulants. It is done by electric, the cardioversion, electric and pharmacological, class 1A quinidine, propanamide diazepam, class 1C, class 3, or surgery like Cox-Main procedure, ablation, cryoablation, or nowadays hybrid ablation with surgical and radiofrequency ablation mixed procedure, device implantation like permanent pacemaker, CRT implantation. Class 1A and class 2 redux prolonged QT intervals, they causes dorsal quantities. So we have to firstly use these drugs with electrolyte imbalance and all. Class 1C drugs increase the QRS duration, monoclonal QT. Choice of drugs depends on patient comorbid cardiac condition. If patient comes with a low NAS of minimal structural heart disease. What is low NAS? Low NAS is age less than 35 age, no associated structural heart disease or any comorbid condition that known as a low NAS. If patient have low NAS, first line drug is lecanemab, sotalol, dronedarone and procophenol. Second line is amiodarone, should be considered if all drugs fail. Patient have LVH, then drug of choice is amiodarone. Patient with coronary artery disease, several class 1A drugs is harmful, so drug of choice is dobutamine, sotalol first line drug and amiodarone is second line of drug. Heart failure, patient comes with EF with heart failure, amiodarone and dobutamine have neutral effect. Rate control favors in recurrent or long-standing or persistent AF. If the age is more than 75, minimal or asymptomatic AF, structural heart disease like Campbell enlargement, multiple poor comorbid condition, and previously failure of the anti-arrhythmic drugs or radiofrequency ablation. Strict rate control known as a rate control below 80, linear rate control resting rate is less than 1. Small studies show no difference between these two strategies, but less than 80 what lenient we could accept below 80 lenient
Don't get aggressive.
don't get aggressive. Strict and lenient. Strict rate control is still appropriate goal for symptomatic relief. Improvement in after rate control, there is improvement in LVEF, functional capacity of left ventricle, and avoidance of the tachycardia induced cardiomyopathy if we control the rate below 8. Rate control is done by beta blocker like metoprolol, esmolol, and bisoprolol, calcium channel blockers, digoxin, and amiodarone. Ideal ventricular rate during EF is 60 to 75 during rest, 90 to 150 during the mild to moderate exercise, and 120 to 160 minutes during the standard exercise. Risk stratification. Strongest predictor for this is history of TIA or stroke, diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, or in more than 70. Based on risk stratification done by these tools, Jet2 score or Hasbulla score, total score of 9. If patient comes with Jet2 score 0 or 1, there is no anticoagulant or antiplatelet therapy is indicated. Recent study shows if Jet2 score is 1, then we either give antiplatelet or antithrombotic or neither. If Jet2 score is more than 2, then we have to give anticoagulant therapy. Z2 score and stroke risk factor. So as the Z2 score increases, the risk for stroke is increasing. Same bleeding risk for 100 patients per year. This chart shows how to choose NOAC versus vitamin K antagonist. If patient have valvular error, there is two types of valvular error and non-valvular error. Non-valvular error includes moderate to severe mitral stenosis and any prostatic mitral valve that include in valvular error. So NOAC is contraindicated in valvular error. If the patient assess risk of Z2 score is 0, so no antithrombotic therapy is indicated. If it is 1, then assess the bleeding risk and start NOAC or vitamin K antagonist. If the patient have previously stroke or then we should give rivaroxaban or apixaban. Previous GI bleed, all NOAC anticoagulants are there is increased tendency of GI bleed except apixaban. So the patient have GI bleed or peptic ulcer, we can start apixaban. High risk of ischemic stroke, dabigatran 150. High risk of bleeding, then dabigatran 110 and apixaban. If patient has coronary heart disease, then rivaroxaban is the drug of choice. Patient has renal impairment, then apixaban or rivaroxaban. GI upset, then apixaban, rivaroxaban and then endoxaban, but apixaban is very preferred. And patient reduce the risk of stroke by 60%. INR should be between 2 to 3 for better balance between stroke and bleeding risk. Even small decrease in INR 2 to 1.7 double the risk of stroke, and there is 1 to 2% increase risk of bleeding if the double INR is 3 to 4. Aspirin plus clopidogrel only used for prophylactic therapy in lower risk patients. Z2 score 0 or 1. But now several study now recently shows that if the Z2 score is 0, no anticoagulant or no antiplatelet therapy is indicated. These two combination drugs increase the risk of bleeding, does not decrease the risk of thromboembolism. Patient not able to tolerate warfarin or NOAC, then only then we can give these two drugs. Risk of hemorrhage is about 50% lower than warfarin NOAC. So nowadays in non-valvular AF, NOAC is considered. Dabigatran is 150, 110 and 75. Oral drug, there is two trial, Relay trial and Reliable trial, non-inferior to warfarin in most stroke and systemic embolism. Lower the risk of stroke and thromboembolism and major bleeding than warfarin. So the dabigatran has more patients who had GI than warfarin. Other than the stroke and systemic embolism is non-inferior to warfarin. Rivaroxaban 20 mg OD, Rocket AF trial. It also shows non-inferior to warfarin, less intracranial or fetal bleeding, greater GI bleed loss. Apixaban is 5 mg Aristotle trial, superior to warfarin or in over the stroke, and Everest trial superior to aspirin. In Everest trial, it compared apixaban and ecosprin, and it shows superior than aspirin. Aspirin have higher chances of intracranial bleeding. Endoxaban is 60 mg OD, non-inferior to warfarin and lower risk of bleeding and cardiovascular. There are this Relay trial, Rocket AF trial, as well as Engage AF-TIMI trial shows comparison between GI bleed, intracranial hemorrhage, major bleed and total mortality. How to switch between NOACs and vitamin K antagonist or heparin. If patient is on vitamin K antagonist and we have to switch on NOAC, once the INR is lower than 2, we can start NOAC. Patient is on heparin, then after 2 hours of stopping heparin. Lower molecular weight, then the next dose of LNW is prepared. NOAC to vitamin K antagonist concomitant treatment between until INR is achieved between 2 to 3. NOAC to parental anticoagulation when the next dose of NOAC is planned, and once NOAC to another NOAC when the next dose of NOAC is planned. Non-pharmacological treatment, excision or closure of the appendix. 90% of the thrombus arises from the left atrial appendix. Surgical techniques like excision, closure by suturing or stapling of the left atrial appendix. Recently, years, percussion, occlusion and suturing device like Watchman device. There is a protect AF and prevent trial shows non-inferior to warfarin for risk of thromboembolism and risk of lower chances of intracranial bleed. Complication, high rate of complication, surgical related complication was noted, but recent prevent trial shows less complication related to surgery. Success rate is 95%. Procedure complication rates is 2 to 3%, pericardial effusion or required drainage. There is also Lariat drug. This device was developed for soft tissue approximation, but in US it is used for off-label LF atrial appendix occlusion. Complete LA occlusion achieved by 94% patient in 700 to 12 patients in recent study. Complication is cardiac perforation and death. Pacing. No convincing. There are several studies on pacing. No convincing evidence shows that pacing is effective to prevent AF. But if patients come with bradycardia and AF, dual chamber pacing is considered. Arrhythmia, catheter ablation. Arrhythmia subset of AF is not well understood, variable, progressive, and different variable in person to person. AF ablation is not so successful. Recurrence after 2 to 3 years of initial ablation is very common. Patient selection for radio frequency ablation is done on patient should be on at least rhythm control drug. Efficacy is lower for persistent AF than paroxysmal AF. Ideal candidate is lone AF or minimal structural heart disease. Contraindication is LA thrombus, can't tolerate anticoagulation. Only motive to eliminate use of anticoagulation therapy or Chatward score is 1 or a symptom indication. Appropriate for less than 35 like lone AF. Acinar disease like antiarrhythmic causes permanent need of PPI and patient do not want to take drugs. Strategy is like what they do is they isolate the pulmonary vein and they do a radio frequency ablation in the ostium of the pulmonary valve. But wide area ablation is better than ostial ablation 1 to 2 centimeter away from ostium. There are few structure in RA and LA that we do radio frequency ablation like in LA, coronary sinus, right atrium, ablation of ganglionated plexus in atrium, ligament of Marshall in various combinations. Post ablation recurrence is common within first 3 months because of inflammatory response. Even in patients with symptomatic AF, recurrence is also symptomatic. So accurate efficacy is required, monitoring for 7 days, perforation for 1 month, and complications like cardiac component, pulmonary valve stenosis, cerebral thromboembolism, atrioesophageal fistula, and silent cerebral ischemia in 2 to 4% where they used irrigated ablation tube. Recent study RF radiofrequency ablation superior to antiarrhythmic drugs in patients with heart failure when the antiarrhythmic drug is failed. Paroxysmal AF difference of 18% in recurrent AF over the 12 months of favors radiofrequency ablation, and in persistent AF it is 27%. There is hybrid known as a hybrid ablation, combination of surgical and catheter ablation where the surgical part is performed first and ablation part performed second day or stage. Avoidance of the damage to the esophagus and phrenic like atrio or esophagus fistula. 12 months freedom from AF of antiarrhythmic drug is achieved as low as surgery of radio frequency ablation superior to antiarrhythmics. There is cryoablation, a balloon designed to fit in pulmonary vein ostia, create circumferential ablation via cryoenergy by liquid nitrogen. 1 year freedom from AF in 75%. And it is less likely to cause pulmonary vein stenosis. AV node ablation and surgical. AV node ablation improve the left ventricular ejection fraction in patients with tachycardia, AF induced or tachycardia induced cardiomyopathy. But all this patient needs permanent pacemaker because of AV node ablation. Surgery like Cox-Maze procedure, Curt and Sue Maze procedure required cardiopulmonary bypass. Developed by Cox in 1997, multiple atrial ablation incision was done to create the line of block between RA and LA. 66% of freedom from AF at the 5 years who underwent Cox-Maze 4 procedure. Cox-Maze 1 and Cox-Maze 2 procedure was done, but they had very much complication, surgical related complication. But recent Cox-Maze 4 procedure have less complication. For unsuccessful radio patient, surgery is done on unsuccessful radio frequency ablation or not good candidate for ablation. Prefer surgery over catheter ablation. Post of arterial fibrillation. 25 to 40% of the patient who went coronary bypass or any cardiac surgery. Twofold increase in risk of post-operative stroke. Incidence increase 2 to 4 times more precisely second day of the surgery, and pathogenesis, adrenergic activation, inflammation, atrial ischemia, electrolyte imbalance, most commonly hypomagnesemia or genetic. Risk factor are age more than 65, history of previous years, male, LV dysfunction with LA enlargement or COPD or obesity. Treatment is amiodarone and sotalol 50 to 65% efficacy, beta blocker 30% efficacy, magnesium 20 to 40% efficacy, right and left atrial temporal electrode 40%, and recent study is undergoing for colchicine, atorvastatin and steroid for their anti-inflammatory effect. Efficacy is 30 to 40%. Omega-3 for fatty acid, conflicting reason on that. Recent study botulinum toxin into 4 major epicardial fat to block the autonomic system. Less than 10% incidence. AF that occurs after CAD resolve within 3 months. New onset of AF after non-cardiac surgery is 5%, and in non-cardiac surgery we can start beta blocker perioperatively to reduce the risk of AF by 25%. WPW syndrome with AF, also known as the P-excitated. Patient with WPW syndrome have accessory pathway, rapid ventricular rate of 250 to 300, easily loss of consciousness and ventricular fibrillation or cardiac arrest. Hemodynamically unstable patient should go for cardioversion. Stable patient, procainamide, because procainamide block the accessory pathway or immediately. Digitalis and calcium channel blockers contraindicated because they block the AV node. So activation through the accessory pathway increases and AF worsens. WPW syndrome with AF and rapid ventricular rate, catheter ablation of accessory pathway 95% efficacy or above efficacy. AF in WPW syndrome induced by tachycardia or AV. Acute coronary syndrome with atrial fibrillation post-time. In patient comes with a acute ischemia or acute coronary syndrome, we should go for urgent cardioversion. New AF plus acute coronary syndrome in hemodynamically stable or unstable patient, ongoing ischemia or inadequate weight. If patient AF, fast ventricular, acute coronary syndrome, IV beta blocker or calcium channel blocker in the absence of bronchospasm or heart failure. If patient has tried to was for more than 2 or an acute coronary syndrome and AF, normally we don't prescribe triple therapy. Only recent studies shows dual therapy only. But if we prescribe triple therapy, should transfer to dual therapy at week 3 to 4 weeks. And if AF with acute coronary syndrome, dual therapy we start clopidogrel or ticagrelor plus NOA, dabigatran 150 or rivaroxaban 50. In congestive heart failure, prevalence is 10% with NYHA class 1 to class 4. AF causes heart failure in non-ischemic cardiomyopathy even when ventricular rate is not rapid. Worsen heart failure in structural heart disease. Rate control, beta blocker and digitalis if necessary amiodarone. Diastolic dysfunction for patient with diastolic dysfunction is percentage blockers. Rhythm control is done by amiodarone or dofetilide. If AF causes the heart failure, then rhythm control should be done over better than rate control. AF developed during heart failure, no significant difference rate or rhythm control. Sinus rhythm is associated with greater improvement in NYHA class or quality of life. Catheter ablation is better than anti-arrhythmic drug for patient with heart failure. Effective in recurrent heart failure. Catheter ablation with amiodarone, they show 70% versus 30% in 24 months, and hospitalized reduced by 45 to 50% in reduced frequency ablation. Maintenance of sinus rhythm by ablation over the rate in heart failure. AV node ablation in rapid ventricular rate with AF not responding to drugs or not suitable candidate for radiofrequency. Biventricular pacing after AV node ablation or ICD if the EF is less than 30 to 35. Patient with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. EF 25% of SCM. Anticoagulation if the patient comes with the AF with SCM because of inadequate diastolic filling is the loss of AV synchrony independent of jet loss. If patient hypertrophic cardiac increased risk of drug-induced loss are the quantities. Rhythm control is done if the left ventricular thickness is more than 15, amiodarone and dronedarone. Catheter ablation for patient not responding to AD. If pregnancy is a hypercoagulable state, prevalence is 60 by 1 lakh patient. Congenital heart disease or coronary heart disease, thyrotoxicosis, electrolysis and paroxysmal AF before pregnancy or after pregnancy may or may not increase. Anticoagulation in warfarin. It was like first trimester we give heparin, second trimester warfarin, and third trimester we switch to heparin. But recent guidelines shows the patient is on warfarin before pregnancy, and if warfarin dose is below 5, then we should continue warfarin for all 3 trimesters, or first trimester heparin and second, third trimester for warfarin. Transthoracic cardioversion can be done in all stages of pregnancy. Pharmacological agents like acute rate control is done by metoprolol and digoxin. Rhythm control is done by flecainide and sotalol.